Today we are talking about a fragrance from the house of Chanel. So I have an exciting video here. I am going to compare and contrast both of these fragrances. So I have Chanel Chance Eau Fraiche, which is the Eau De Toilette. This has been around for quite a hot minute now. It is one of Chanel's top selling fragrances, at least from the Chance line. We do have Chanel Eau Vive. We have Chanel Chance Eau Tendre. We have Chanel Chance Eau Fraiche, and then the Eau De Parfum and the Eau De Toilette. The two most popular fragrances in this range, which is Eau Tendre and now Eau Fraiche, come in an Eau De Parfum. So this is what the bottle looks like. Look at that. Comparing it with this guy here, by the way, this is a 5-ounce bottle. This is a 1.7-ounce bottle. So if you do want to get a big one like this, they don't make it just yet. They will make it at some point, I'm sure of that. But they only make it in a 1.7 ounce as of now, and they also make it in a 3.4 ounce bottle. The differences between these two bottles is going to be the same that they do with all the Eau de Toilette. So all the Eau de Parfums do have a metal cap at the top. The lettering on here is going to be white on the Eau de Toilette, and it's going to be a gold color on this guy here. Your neck is also going to be gold, but at the bottom you have the same information. You have everything identical everywhere else. So I have the box here. This is what the box looks like. It is the same thing that Chanel has done for a long time with their Chance collection. I used to work for Chanel, funny story, and if you ever want a video as to what my experience was working for the brand, let me know down in the comments below. I would be happy to tell you the stories. But this is what the box looks like, and they have gotten a lot thinner since I have worked for the brand. I'm assuming that they're doing this to be quote-unquote sustainable. A lot of these brands are quote-unquote going the sustainable route. The reason I'm doing the quote-unquote is because a lot of them do greenwashing. What I mean by that is that they really don't even care about the environment. They just do it because it's the trendy thing to do. It'll be a good marketing gimmick and it'll generate sales, obviously. But this is a lighter cardboard. It does not have a plastic coat on it like the other one. So it is an open pore type of paper cardboard. If you're one of the people that likes to store the boxes that come out with your fragrances, this is one that's not going to keep very well, so I would certainly suggest keeping the cellophane at the bottom, just busting the bottom out to get your perfume. But enough of the box. No one cares about that. No one is here to see the box. We're here to see what the comparison between both of these fragrances are. So the Eau Fraiche Eau de Parfum is fairly new. It just launched, I want to say, almost a week ago. This is a video that I had planned. When I saw that Chanel launched it, I instantly purchased it, and I did the mistake of ordering it through Macy's. Nothing wrong with Macy's. The problem is I ordered it for a store pickup since I have quite a bit of local Macy's around me. And for some reason they got it all mixed up and they shipped it out, and it took like a week and a half almost. It was ridiculous, but it got here in one piece, thank God. And now we have the Chanel Chance Eau Fraiche, the Eau de Parfum. So funny thing is I actually sprayed both of these blotting cards yesterday, and you can still smell the Eau de Parfum. You can also still smell the Eau de Toilette. Now, I will say that out of this range, the Eau Fraiche is actually my favorite. It always was. I used to love this fragrance. If you are a male out there watching this video, I would certainly say that out of all of these fragrances, the Eau Fraiche collection is going to be the one that's going to work a little bit more for male and female. It's still going to be a little bit more womanly geared, but it is going to be a fragrance that works for both genders nonetheless. So really quickly going into the history of Chanel Chance, this was launched in 2007. The perfumer for this fragrance was Jacques Polge. It was supposed to be a fresh, clean version of Chance. Now that's a little bit, it's kind of confusing because Chanel Chance as a collection is already clean and sharp and crisp and citric-y. Now this one took it a step further and made it even more fresh. Then we got this one this year. This is by Olivier Polge. It's really fun to see that father made this guy here. I'm holding it backwards. And that son made this one here. They actually kind of kept it very similar to each other. I'm going to spray them down on a card so we can kind of compare and contrast. I can instantly see that this one has more depth to it. You do get a lot of amber and jasmine in this guy here, which is the Eau de Parfum. You're also going to get quite a bit of cedar wood or teak wood. What is it? It's teak wood that you're getting in this one here. It's really good. It's really well balanced, but the jasmine is the star of the show here. Very beautiful, fresh jasmine that is just picked off of the vine or off of the stem, whatever they are. The citric notes in here are going to be sharp, which is what makes this line very, very popular. They have sharp citricy notes, really sparkly in a sense. And this one itself, I will say that does have that element to it, which is what makes Chance the collection so popular, but they're a lot more muted. And I will say that it is something that's a little bit more likable. You know, it's more mainstream, this fragrance here. It's going to be a little bit, it's going to have more of a softer edge overall, making it, you know, liked by many different things. I will say that this one itself maybe won't lend itself to be as unisex as the original Eau Fraiche did, because it is going to be more ambery, more jasmine based in this one. I was actually very shocked yesterday that I tried the Eau De Parfum and I was like, at first glimpse, the Eau De Parfum's better. Now, the thing about the Eau Fraiche collection when it comes to the Eau De Toilette is that you're going to get those sharp, sharp notes. It's a little bit more tart. It's going to be a little bit more bitter, but it's going to have those beautiful grapefruit notes in there. It's going to have those beautiful citric elements in it. It doesn't really focus a lot on the ambery parts of this fragrance. It does have it, but it doesn't really focus on it. It doesn't really focus on the actual deep element of wood in this fragrance, but it does have it as well as a baseline. This fragrance is going to be very top heavy, so very citric heavy, very sparkly. It's kind of like a bottle of champagne. And that's kind of how I describe the Chanel Chance collection when it comes to the Eau de Toilettes, at least. They're like drinking a beautiful bottle of champagne. I mean, you can drink it out of the bottle if you want, or you can drink it out of a flute. But whenever you pour a glass of champagne into a flute and all those bubbles come up top, that's kind of what Chanel Chance kind of, you know, smells like, if you will. And this one itself is not the exception to the rule. I will say that this one is a little bit less likable up front. And I think that's mainly due to the fact that with new fragrances, we're kind of used to being spoiled with these ambery type of fragrances that have woody elements to it. It does lean into that soft edge, that, you know, very old money aesthetic, that very quiet, minimal, quiet luxury type of vibe. So if you're looking for a quiet luxury fragrance, Chance the Eau de Parfum is probably the one that you should probably get, because it does have those very quiet, subtle elements to it that are refined, they're elegant, they're youthful, and they're very understated, very effortless, and very chic. Now, the Chance Eau de Toilette is going to have those same elements, but it kind of grabs more of the fun green element that Chanel does so well. You know, they do it very well with number 19, and they do green elements very well in all of their Les Exclusives collection. They also do it very well in men's fragrances. And with this one, they do the green element so, so well. And it's kind of hard to say which one I'm going for. I kind of still like the Eau de Toilette because it does have a little bit of a playfulness with the masculine side of things. And the Eau de Parfum is definitely a women's fragrance, true and true. It can still play a little bit on both sides, but because it does lean very much into the jasmine notes, it does lean a little bit more feminine. Now, I did try both of these when it comes to longevity and performance. I have had Chanel Chance Eau Fraiche for such a long time. With Chanel Chance Eau de Toilette, I have really pushed this fragrance onto a lot of people. It was my #1 seller when I worked for Chanel, and I will say that I even used to sell this more than Coco Mademoiselle because I loved this fragrance. Now, this one, like I said, I like it. It's a more modern version of the Eau de Toilette, the Eau de Parfum is. Now, the problem with this fragrance is that it can kind of get lost in the sea of fragrances. We're very much, like I said, used to seeing ambery, jasmine-y type of soft, supple fragrances. And while that's great, I really love the sharp contrast that this one has to offer, that very bubble, sparkly vibe that it does have. You're still going to get it in this one, so if you like that, but you don't like it as much, then definitely try this one here. I would say that they are both probably really worth it. They're both very different. However, if you do not have one and you're trying to get the other, I would certainly say to go out there and smell them, because I wouldn't say that they're both super uniquely different, that at the point where you have to go and buy both of the fragrances. But if you like the range, then yes, because they are very different, but in very subtle ways. Well, that is today's video, you guys. Let me know down in the comments what your thoughts are on this range. Have you tried the Chanel Chance range? Which one is your favorite? Which one is not your favorite? Let me know all of that down below in the comments. Also, make sure to give the video a thumbs up and consider subscribing for more fragrance related content. And I hope to see you on the next video. Bye.